All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Or if you're listening to this in the morning, good morning. Or in the afternoon, good afternoon. Either way, I hope you're having a good day. We're going to have a look at the last assigned drawing in Module 1, the offset link. The offset link is going to allow you to practice with the Phillip command, and it's going to continue to refine your skills with the other commands that we've been looking at in Module 1, basic drawing and editing commands, construction line, circle, offset, trim, extend, in addition to erase, right? So all those things. So hopefully you are finding these drawings a good way to practice with that. Of course, if not, please, let me know. Send me an email, and I can try to help you out. Obviously, with the videos, the nice thing about the videos is you can watch them over and over again. So, they're a little bit more, they have a little bit more stickiness than, let's just say, a regular lecture. Before we get into the offset link, let me just remind you that there are extra credit drawings that you can work on in Module 1. Drawing 1.5M, drawing 1.9, and drawing 1.10M. Those are listed in your module. Those are 3 challenging drawings. I mean, they're not extra credit for nothing. They are challenging drawings. They definitely, if you've gone through and done the assigned drawings, then they definitely are doable, the 3 extra credit drawings. But they're going to push you a little bit, and like I said, be challenging to complete as they were intended to do. Just a reminder, they are extra credit. They're not required by any stretch, and so have a look at those. All right, so let's look at the offset link. So let's bring the drawing over here. So here we go, the offset link drawing. It's kind of a, geometrically speaking, it's not a challenging drawing. There's nothing strange in the geometry that's going to stump us or cause us to use some kind of weird mathematical technique to get completed, but it does provide us some opportunities to use the Phillip command. And here I'm looking at these 4 corners right here, where we'll use the Phillip command, and we'll look at different options with the Phillip command, because there are some things that we'll want to be aware of. But the Phillip command is another one of the basic commands that you'll use in 90% of your drawings, especially engineering drawings. If you're working with architectural drawings, they don't really have a lot of curves in them. I mean, generally speaking, architectural drawings are mostly linear affairs. But in the in other industries, engineering, landscaping, things like that, curves are found all over the place, and fillets are one way that we can handle that. Okay, so let's push this aside and we'll get going. This is an inches drawing, so we're going to get started with our regular ACAD template, right? Remember, you could get started with the ACAD template or the no template Imperial. Doesn't matter at this point, So I'll get started with the ACAD template. And something that I have failed to do for all these demos, and I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but it's really bad practice what I've been doing here, and that is, the first thing I really should do is I should save the drawing file, right? When we open it up, we really should save it, give it a name, so that then it is, if there's something that goes wrong with our computer, with AutoCAD, whatever, we have a record of the file. If you're working like me without saving it until the very end, you know, you're you're asking for problems. So I'm going to save this as drawing 1.7 offset link. Here we go. All right, so now we're ready to get started. All right, so so here, let's just knock this out. The object is pretty much oriented on this crossing set of lines, horizontal and vertical, north, south, east, west. So I'm going to use the construction line, and I'm going to draw a vertical construction line and a horizontal construction line, like so. Okay. So that's going to kind of help me orient and locate everything. Now I want to use the offset command, and I want to offset 3.5. We're going to offset this line to the left and to the right, and then we'll go back to the offset command, and we'll offset 2.5. We'll offset the bottom line up and down. There we go. Now we have our locations for the circular features that we're going to draw, and we have 4 circles with a diameter of 1. So we go over here to center diameter, and we're going to put that right there. Now notice this is kind of weird. It comes up with midpoint. Why is midpoint coming up here when this is a construction line and technically they're infinitely long? Well, that's just how AutoCAD shows you an intersection using construction lines, because mathematically you're correct. Mathematically it wouldn't be a midpoint, but this is in fact where the 2 lines intersect, so it is fine. We can use our little technique for putting the 4 circles in there, like so. And then we have 4 circles that go around it with a radius of 1. All right, so don't get these confused. A lot of people get, you know, especially when you're beginning, but not necessarily when you're beginning. A lot of, you know, experienced users get this mixed up, you know, diameter and radiuses. You know, I'll get a lot of drawings that are turned in where all the circles and curves are twice as large as they should be, because instead of a diameter of 1, you used a radius of 1. Right? So that's twice as large. But in this case, we want 4 diameter or radius 1. Now, some of you may be asking, well, why aren't we using the arc command? Why are we drawing a circle and then trimming it? Because a circle is infinitely easier than the arc command. The arc command, once you get the hang of drawing like you're doing probably after module 1, you'll be able to go into the arc command and look at the different arc commands. Look at that. There's, I think, 10 here. 10, 11 different arc options. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, I've been drawing for, I don't know, since 1986 in AutoCAD. And the number of times I've used the arc command and I've only been able to use the arc command is probably less than 5. I always use a circle and then trim it. It's just much easier. And that's just the truth as I see it. So if you want to practice with the arc command, there they are. You probably have enough knowledge and skills to practice that right now. But I'm also trying to show you the way to draw in AutoCAD, and the circle and then trim is where it's at. So let's do a circle, center radius. We want a radius of 1. So spacebar, pick spacebar, spacebar, pick spacebar, spacebar, pick spacebar, and we go like that. All right. So now we got all that laid out, and we're ready to create the rest of the structure here, kind of iron out the horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm going to go with the line command, and what I'm going to do is I want to pick up this intersection, right? This is intersection of the vertical line with the circle. Obviously, that's where I want to draw or start my drawing, and I can draw all the way across to this other side. And I can go back to the line command and do this. So we can get these 4 lines in here. All right. And now we got these corners. And these corners, let's talk a little bit about the corners. All right, so let me erase some stuff just so we can focus on some of the on the lines that we need to focus on. Okay, and I'm actually going to zoom in right here. All right, so how can we draw this curved feature in there, this corner that's curved? All right. All right, so let's think in terms of the commands that we've already learned. A circle, right? We want to draw a circle, and we know we know the radius on this circle is 0.5, right? What else do we know? We don't, strictly speaking, really know its location other than it's tangent to this line. Or let me move up here, tangent to this line and tangent to this line. So we have a case where we know the radius and we know that it's tangent here and tangent here. So that's tangent, tangent, radius, TTR. All right, so so we could draw circle TTR, right? Tan, tan, radius. We could go like this, 1, 2, and a 0.5 radius, and then there we go. Before we finish up with that, how else could we draw? What if we didn't know about the circle tan, tan, radius? How could we do this? Well, from a geometrical point of view, mathematical, geometrical, we could offset this line 0.5 and offset this line 0.5, and that's going to locate the center, right? And then we could draw a circle with a center radius 0.5, okay? So both of those you are capable of drawing up to this point, right? Without talking about the Phillip command, you're capable of doing that. One of them, maybe requires a little bit of thought, and the other one you might be thinking back to the last video and the last drawing assignment, and you go, oh yeah, circle TTR, we could do that. But both of these present issues, right? Because now, in order to finish these off, what else do I have to do? Well, now I have to go to erase, right? And I have to erase these lines, and I have to trim, and I have to trim this back here. Not only that, I have to trim this back to create that shape, right? Now that's a lot of work, right? I have to create the circular feature, trim it back to 1/4 of a circle. Then I have to trim all my construction lines back out. So that was, I didn't count the number of clicks, but it was probably up to 10 clicks, a couple of different steps at least. All right. So there is a command that combines all that together. All right. And that is the Phillip command. So I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to erase these circles so we get back to our original point. And the Phillip command is right here under trim. All right, and so the Phillip command is literally a circle tan, tan, radius combined with trim, or in some cases extend, depends on the exact geometry, but it's a combination of those commands. So let's see how this works, okay? Because I will say this, the trim command is, or excuse me, the Phillip command is a little bit like the trim command and extend command in that it's not necessarily intuitive how it's going to function. All right, so let's go to the Phillip command. So we go to Phillip right here, and it says select first object. All right, what the heck is it talking about? Select first object for what? All right, so what it's asking for is to select the first tangent object. All right, and before you can use the Phillip command, you actually have to tell it what radius you want for this Phillip. All right, it doesn't say that anywhere. It doesn't say give me the radius first, but that is in fact what you need to do. All right, so right now, we don't know what the radius is. And if you look down on the command line, you can see the options: undo, polyline, radius, trim, and multiple. And if I hit the down arrow, I can get these showing right there. And so the first thing I got to do before when I'm starting with this command is I have to tell it what radius I want to use. So I'm going to choose radius. And look at that, the radius is set to 0. Right? So right from the start, the radius is 0. So if you're going to use fillet and you're not going to change the radius, you're not going to get any fillet. You're just going to get sharp corners. Radius of 0 means it's a sharp 90-degree angle or sharp corner. So here, the radius is going to be 0.5, right? So I'm going to type in 0.5, hit enter, and it goes back to that select first object thing. Okay, so let's give this a shot now. So we've given it the radius. Now let's go and we'll select this object, and we'll select this object. And you see what it does there? Right? So it's kind of helping me out. Now notice it depends where I select my object, right? So I'm picking my object out here. What if I pick it over here? Well, yeah, okay, that's not what I want, right? So it matters which side you pick. Same thing if I pick this one down here. So I'm going to pick like this, but watch what happens. Yowzer. It trimmed off this whole edge. Oh, yikes, and it trimmed off this whole edge too. So, that's not so helpful. Because now I got to go back into extend, and I got to pick this circle, and I got to pick this circle, and I got to extend this line down there and extend this line down there. All right, so maybe that's less clicks, but still, that's kind of a lot of work. More than I need to do. So let me undo that. Let's undo this right there. All right, let's have a go at this again with the fillet command. Okay, the fillet command, we go in there, we type in R, we type in 0.5. Okay, now let's look at our options again. See the trim option? So in this case, I can go no trim, right? Then with no trim, what does it do? Well, it does this. Oh, okay. Well, is that better? Okay, so no, I don't have to extend these lines, but I got to trim them now. So, so it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. All right, so that's one option. Probably the smarter thing, if you've been using fillet before, you'll know to work with it like this. Okay, and that is to go ahead and trim this out. All right, so we do that ahead of time, and then we go back to the fillet command, radius 0.5, and we don't need to mess with that trim, no trim thing, because we're going to go like this. Okay, now, last bit that I'm going to talk about with the fillet command, or that I need to talk about with the fillet command, is going back to the fillet command. Notice that I did that one fillet and then it's done, right? And so I have to go back to the fillet command and I have to select my object again. There is a way to get fillet to work multiple times in a row. So we go to fillet and hit the down arrow and go to multiple, or type M and choose multiple. And now watch. So now it works until I say enter and stop working. All right, so that's the fillet command. Couple different options. Combination of the circle, TTR, and trim or extend. In some cases, it will extend lines. Getting started with it, don't forget to type in R. If you think the fillet command is broken because it's not making curve, it's just making corners, it's because the radius is 0, and you need to change that. All right, so let's finish this up. We'll go to trim, and we'll trim out these lines right there. And that's it. All right. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's good, straightforward, simple drawing to help you focus on the Phillip Command. Please make sure you practice the Phillip Command. You know, give it a go. Try some of the different fillet options. All right, let's prepare this for plotting, and then we'll finish up. So we go to AutoCAD PDF high quality print. Everything is good here. We'll go to extends, center to plot, preview. Beautiful. Plot. And it's already in the right location with the right name, so I'll save it. And now I'm ready to upload this to Canvas, as are you, hopefully. All right, so good luck. I will see you in Module 2 in intermediate drawings, where they get a little bit more challenging. We'll look at layers, especially, and drawing different line types, different lines, center lines, hidden lines, all that good stuff. We'll definitely be ramping it up. Please make sure that you have a good command of the drawings in Module 1. Let me know if you have questions, if you have some difficulties working through some of this. If we need to, we can schedule a WebEx meeting, and then, you know, I can look at your AutoCAD screen, you can look at my AutoCAD screen, and so on and so forth. But that's it for Module 1, basic drawing and editing. And next we'll get into Module 2 drawings, and the first one up is the adjustable fork drawing 2.1. All right. Until then, I'll talk to you. Bye.